You were told that Python was slow for web development. Well, they were wrong. The truth is, you were not using the right libraries. I am going to show you the forbidden Python libraries that let Python handle 10,000 plus requests per second, and why tech giants like Uber, Netflix are betting their entire backend on it. Let's go into it. So today in this video, I'm going to show you Python libraries for web development. And this is Jacob Isa Programming Hub, and welcome back to my channel again. If you are just joining me for the first time, please kindly like, share. This is where I discuss everything related to Python, AI, and machine learning, and also showing you the pathway to grow. All right, let's go into it. So please kindly like, subscribe, and share this video. Python offers a rich ecosystem of libraries and framework for web development. So, and it caters to different aspects such as backend development, front-end integration, API creation, and web scripting, right? So in this video, I'll be giving you a detailed breakdown of the most popular and useful Python libraries for web development. The first we are going to look at is the backend web framework. This framework helps you in building server-side logic, handling HTTP requests, and managing databases. So we have the full stack web app framework. So everything you are going to see here are categorized. So when you are going into a building anything related to full stack and you're looking for framework, Django is the best framework for full stack development. So and it's a high level battery included framework following the model view template pattern. All right, whenever you hear batteries included in Python, you should know that it comes with everything you need to build a working software. Then we now proceed to look at the features. Then it has a built-in ORM, object relation mapper, for database interactions. In case you are new to what ORM is what stands between your database and your language. So take for example, it simply means instead of you writing your SQL in your programming when building an API, instead of writing SQL, you are using Python for that. All right, so it has a built-in ORM, object relation mapper, for database interaction. Then it also has admin panel for easy content management if you are building a content management system. Then authentication, URL routing, template, which we talk about, Django templates. Then the REST framework integration, so which allow you to build APIs. Okay, so if you are building any large scale application like a content management system, an e-commerce, or a social network, I bet you that Django is the best option. And if you look at the like of Instagram, Pinterest, these are companies that have used Django in building their entire application. We now talk about under full stack. We still have another one, which is the pyramid. So the pyramid is a flexible, lightweight framework that scales from small to large applications. All right, and it helps you to build any small or large applications that you are doing, and it's lightweight. Then we also proceed to look at the features of pyramid. It supports both SQL and no SQL databases. In case you are new to SQL, you can look at my channel, the description of this video, and you'll learn more about SQL, SQL languages, and NoSQL databases, flexible authentication and authorization. It also works well with Jinja 2 and Chameleon templating. So if you are going to do anything in the front end aspect, okay, so you can use Jinja or Chameleon. So we'll talk about that as we proceed in this video. So any application needing modularity or scalability, then pyramid is the best option. Then we proceed to look at the number 2, which is the micro frameworks. So the micro frameworks are frameworks that allow you to build a web application using Python. So we have the first one, which is Flask. Flask is a lightweight, extensible micro framework based on Wixzio and Jinja 2. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but then. So now these are some of the features. It has a minimalistic core with extension for databases. It has something like SQL Alchemy, Flask SQL Alchemy, then authentication, Flask login, and API. So you have a Flask RESTful. Okay, if you are new to API, RESTful is another keyword that needs to be explained. Okay, it's a representative state transfer. All right, so an API. Then we also talk about it is great for small or medium application. So, and then in case if you are thinking of where to use Flask, you can use it when prototyping. You want to prototype anything or your application, you want to build a REST API or a small web application, then Flask is your best option. And then this is one of the library framework that Netflix use in their internal tools. Then we proceed to look at the Fast API. So a Fast API is a modern fast framework for building APIs with automatic open API and Swagger docs. Alright, so this allow you to build any API. Then we also move further to look at the features. It has a built-in data validation using Pydantic. Alright, then it has asynchronous support for high performance dependency injection system, and then you can use it if you are going to build anything related to high performing APIs, microservices. So, and then the likes of Uber and Microsoft uses this particular framework. Alright, so then we now proceed to look at Bottle. The Bottle is another micro framework that is used. It's a single file micro framework with no dependencies. Alright, it has no dependencies and it's a single micro framework. Okay, and what does it do? It features include built-in HTTP server, simple routing and templating, and then you can use it for small application, quick prototyping, just as simple as that. Then we have Ginger too. Alright, so Ginger, like I said before, is a fast and flexible templating engine, so it is used in Flask. Alright, then its features include template inheritance, macros, filters. It has a secure that is auto scripting to prevent XSS attack. Alright, then its use cases include dynamic HTTP rendering. Alright, so if you want to render HTML in the front end, it has what you can use it to render HTML. Alright, so in the front end aspect of it, when you want to build a front end interface, you can use Ginger. Then we proceed to also look at Django templates, like I mentioned before. So if you are building a full stack and you can use your template at the front end, so Django has this built-in template system that allow you to filter, to display whatever you are building. Okay, so display tags, filters, and inheritance tightly integrated with Django's ORM. Alright, ORM, object relation mapper. Then we proceed to also look at the Mako. The Mako is a high performance template engine, and it is Python. It has a Python like syntax. Okay, and it's good for fast rendering. Alright, then Python also integrates with JavaScript, and some of the libraries that make this possible is the Brighton. Okay, Brighton uses Python 3 and runs in the browser. Alright, so and it is an alternative to JavaScript in Python. So in use cases is when you are building the front-end logic in Python, you can use Brighton. Then we also have a PyDD, which I don't know if I get that correctly, but then Python runtime in WebAssembly. So if you are building anything for browser-based Python execution, then you can use PyDD. Then we also have the use cases. So if you are into data analysis, you can use this particular library. So you can perform your data analysis in the browser. Then we look at also the API development libraries. So we've made mention of Django REST framework before. So this allows you to build a powerful toolkit for building REST API with Django, and its features include a serializer for data conversion. Alright, authentication, so token, JWT, okay, JSON web token, or authentication, so you can use it for authentication. Then browsable API. Then we also have another library called the Falcon. Okay, so this one is minimalistic and the framework for building fast APIs. All right, and it is used in high performance backend services. Then we also look at Flask RESTful and a fast API. So the Flask RESTful is resource-based routing request parser. All right, it passes requests. Okay, this passing here is, I'm just saying it on the facial, but the detail aspect of it, please keep an eye on my YouTube. Please subscribe and turn on the notification as I explain any of this further from here. Then we also have fast API, which also carry out asynchronous APIs. So it is best for high performance API with automatic open API docs. All right. Then we proceed to look at database and ORM libraries. So we made mention of SQL Alchemy before, and it's a powerful SQL toolkit and ORM. Its features includes works with Postgres, SQL, MySQL, SQLite, and etc. So it supports both high-level ORM and low-level SQLs. Now, Django ORM. Django's built-in ORM, which is the object relation mapper we have been mentioning, makes everything simpler. So it's simpler than the SQL Alchemy, but less flexible. Okay. and this is what you can use to start your project before you connect. For me, majorly, I use this the built-in ORM to start my project, connect it to the database before connect it up with the real database I've set up, either with AWS server and the rest. Then we also have a Piwi. Piwi is a lightweight ORM alternative for SQL Alchemy, all right, and it is good for small projects needing simple database integration. Then we have the Psycho G2 and then Async PG. All right, so these are Postgres adapters for Python. So you can perform synchronous and asynchronous operations. All right, so this Psycho PG2 is the most one that I use mostly when you want to use Postgres as your database. Then you have Moto, which is another database library, an ORM library. So it performs asynchronous MongoDB driver. All right. Then we proceed to look at authentication and security libraries. Now, when we talk about authentication and security libraries, we are looking at when you want to do authentication, OpenID or JWT token, whatever you want to use as your authentication, the auth-lib will help you to do that. All right. So if you are building any social login integration and you want users to use either their Facebook, Twitter, any social media handle to log into your application you are building, you can use the auth-lib, so which allow you to use the authentication, OpenID and JWT. Then we also have JWT, which is a JSON Web Token implementation. Okay, it allows you to use the JSON Web Token. All right. Then we also have Django all auth. Okay, so these libraries allow you to integrate authentication for Django. Okay, for Django, like social logins, email verification, and all of that. So you can use the Django all auth. Then we have the pass library or the passlib. So the passlib is for a password hashing library. So I know that by now, if you are not just coming to programming, you know that you must not store your password as a plain text. So if you must not store your password as a plain text, then you need to use the library passlib to securely hash your password. All right. Then we now talk about the web scraping and automation libraries. So the web scraping and automation libraries, like a Beautiful Soup is another beautiful libraries that I've used. So you can use it to scrape a hypertext markup language or extensible markup language, HTML and XML parser for web scraping. Then we have Scrapy also. The Scrapy is another library that is a full-fledged web scraping framework. It is built with selectors like expert, CSS. So you can declare your expert in your whenever you want to scrape anything. Then it also has a middleware support, so which is part of the security implementation. Then we also have request and HTTP. Okay, so is the HTTP client async and synchronous and asynchronous. All right. Then we have Selenium. Selenium is another beautiful one that I've used, and I will recommend it to anyone. So it allows you to use a browser automation for dynamic websites. All right, and by now I believe you know the difference between a dynamic website and a static website. A dynamic website that has interactions. When you click, the mouse is moving here and there, color following your button. Those are dynamic websites. The static sites are the ones that you click, you get what you want. It's just nothing interactive there. So Selenium is the best library when you want to perform web scraping and on any dynamic websites. All right. Then we move further to now look at real-time and WebSocket. Before I continue please like and share this video, subscribe, and turn on the notification. And I also want to hear from you. Among the libraries that I've been mentioning, which one have you used? Which one are you finding difficult? And then do you think that you understand, some of the ones that I've been mentioning? Are they new to you? Let me know in the comment section. Then we now talk about the real-time and the WebSocket. So if you are building any social app and you want to do anything in real time, so you can do a Django's channel which adds a WebSocket support for Django. Then we have socket.io, which uses a Python socket.io. All right. So this library gives you real-time bi-directional communication. All right. Bi-directional communication simply means two-way communication. So then we also have a fast API WebSocket. So it's a built-in WebSocket that allow you to get real-time when building anything. So you want to know who is currently online, who is currently offline, or based on chat, the time they are available and all of that. So you can give you real-time information. Then we proceed to now look at testing and debugging. So testing and debugging is another aspect of any development, anything you are building. All right. So we have PyTest and the unit test that comes with Python. So it's a testing frameworks that comes with Python. Then we also have the Locust. The Locust, what it does basically is to load testing tools in your project. Then we have Django debug toolbars. This one is very handy because you will need to see, it allows you to see where your error is coming from, especially if you are dealing with you are building a full stack application using templating. All right, so you will need to use a Django debug toolbar. Okay, so it's a very awesome library that you need to give it a try. Then deployment and serverless libraries in Python for web development. We have Guineacon and Ubicon. So you have probably heard of this before. If you have used all this awesome library in your project before, please let me know in the comment section. You see this library, Guineacon and Ubicon, they are very powerful. So when you want to build any web server gateway interface or asynchronous server gateway interface server for production, this library is awesome. All right. Then serverless framework, so you can deploy your Python apps to AWS Lambda Azure functions using this serverless framework. Then we have Docker and Kubernetes. Okay, so so they are the awesome libraries that you can try your hands on. Thank you so much for seeing this video to this level. And if you have come this far with me, please give this video a like, a thumbs up, and please subscribe and share this video. See you on the next one. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.